Okay, it's 12:20. Welcome everybody to this next episode of the HDF Clinic. I got a little bit of material prepared, but of course this clinic is for you. Are there any questions about HDF5? Any questions regarding your applications, building it, issues you have encountered? Speak up if that's the case. Robert, did you wanted to say something? I think you're muted.
Nope, I'm good, Gerd.
Okay.
You have my attention here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then I'll jump right in. And in my usual fashion, I like to talk about the phenomenal work that my colleagues are doing. And because it saves me a lot of time to do my own work. Okay, I called this from Java Woes to AI flows. And of course, HDF 2.0 is in the air, and there's an interesting connection there as well. Okay, you might remember that about 4 months ago, I was sort of lamenting the state of HDFView and in general the poor Java developer experience with the HDF library. Just picture doing Python development without conda and without pip and so forth. It's pretty miserable. But that's exactly what we expose Java developers to. There are similar packaging mechanisms and repositories like conda and pip for Java, for example, Maven. That's what today's story is in part about. But yeah, there maybe someone in the community or Java expert built the HDF5 Java archives and put them out there, but they were not officially endorsed or supported or helped in any shape or form by us, and that's a shame. But better late than never. My colleague Allen Byrne actually did some great work picking up on this theme and also enlisting the help of AI. And he created a pull request so everybody can try it and provide feedback and do exactly that. And he did actually more because the wheels don't stand still in the Java world either. So for example, the way Java interacts with non-JVM functions and memory is changing, and there is now this foreign function memory interface. It's been around maybe since Java 21, but it's coming now in Java 25. And but hitherto, we talk to the HDF5 library from Java through this thing called the Java native interface, I think, which may already in newer Java versions deprecate it or will be deprecated at some point. And as one application, HDFView obviously should build against Maven packages, and in this case, these Maven packages would be HDF4 and HDF5, and Allen made great progress there as well. And I want to point out, though, this is a PR that's out there for people to try it and play with it and provide feedback. And how much will this capability be part of HDF 2.0? Yes, absolutely. Whether it will be there from day one, so from HDF 2.00 release day, I don't know. Scott and others will chime in on that, but it will be there in HDF 2.0 at some point. And there will also be, this is of course more of an IT problem, the same thing with signed binaries and so forth, when we provide these packages and sort of put our stamp on it and deploy them in these repositories, that there's also a lot of work that needs to happen in the background, and it will happen. However, I cannot make any guarantees that that will happen by the time of the HDF 2.00 release. Now, in his pull, so here's the link to the pull request. We'll go over there, and I just copied and pasted his introduction. And to try this, actually, unless you want to sort of clone this onto your local machine and so forth, it's actually very easy in GitHub, for example, with GitHub code spaces. You can go up here under code and code spaces, and then you can just create a new code space. So you want to, depending on how much time you have, pick a beefier instance and just create a code space, and that will create a code space with that PR. It takes a moment to build. There's also a little bit of a snag that we just corrected. The CMake requirement, I think, is 326, I believe, and in Debian, the standard, in double quotes, GitHub code space was built on a Debian image, but I think Debian, the latest Debian 13, doesn't have CMake 326, so that's why you need to massage the Docker file a little bit to use the Ubuntu image instead of the Debian image, which has a newer CMake. But that's sort of, yeah, we're getting now into the technical weeds. And but the nice thing is, as I will show you in a moment, you can build this easily in a GitHub code space. And what Allen also did is, switching to AI a little bit, he used the tool he used to do much of this work was Claude Code, and Copilot and Claude Code and Gemini, CLI, and they all have sort of their, if you wish, configuration file, and or a file that can be used to have more, call it, informed conversations with your assistant. And you can use this Claude Code, this Claude.md file. At the end of the day, it's just a markdown file. And if you use an editor like Visual Studio Code, you can actually point Copilot at this file and then use it in conversations. And so I just got to quickly fix this Docker file here. So you would need to, in develop, that's actually fixed, but I'm going to sort of fix it quickly here. Ubuntu, just Ubuntu, and then you say rebuild now, and then quickly rebuild. I think I also fixed, I added the Clang compilers to the what's in develop now. That's missing here, but that's not a big deal. And so just going back while that's rebuilding. And then I took a screenshot here. So as part of the Copilot chat that we saw already on the right-hand side here, so here we can interact with Copilot and ask questions about the HDF5 library, how to build it. You can even ask, how does the metadata cache work in the HDF5 library? Actually, we might do that for fun in a moment. But yeah, so this prompt will, when VS Code is configured properly, take this Claude.md file into account, and then, yeah, provide the right kind of information to, in double quotes, know more, have more expert knowledge about the HDF5 library, but that's rebuilding now. And then you see, for example, I asked Copilot, for example, does this project support Maven? And then it goes into the Claude.md file, and Allen provided some examples in there. So for example, if you wanted to build the Java examples with Maven and use that Java archive, that Maven built Java archive, then here are the instructions that you would use on the command line to make that happen. And so that's a nice touch. It's still rebuilding. I cannot make that any faster. But so this is, I should have picked the next bigger instance or built it before this meeting. but maybe I'll move on and then we come back. But then this of course also raises an interesting question. So let's assume not so much with our Windows binaries, because I don't think we distribute them through the Microsoft Windows Marketplace or whatever the Microsoft Marketplace is called. But if here, for example, I think apache.maven.org or maven.apache.org, I forgot, would be such a repository, but there are others where we would be providing these signed binaries. This, of course, begs a bigger question, which is, well, why should you trust these artifacts, ours or anyone else's artifacts? And we have some interesting news there, and this is just stay tuned for a more detailed announcement. The National Science Foundation has a program that is called SAFE-OSE. That's the abbreviation, which stands for Safety, Security, and Privacy of Open Source Ecosystems, SAFE-OSE. And we wrote a proposal with a few partners last year. And it turns out that our proposal was selected for funding there were, I linked them here, 7 other fantastic open source projects. So if you go to the website, these are the 7 plus 1 that were selected. Very interesting projects. For example, the Tor project. There is a project here, the CESM, the Community Earth System Model. You might have heard about them. There's also a project that I did not know anything about, this open medical record system and us. And yeah, so congratulations to our fellow awardees, and we'll be reaching out to them. So this is, of course, we will be doing very HDF5 library and file format focused engineering work. But we will also, wherever there's opportunities, there are opportunities to collaborate with some of these other projects. We definitely want to do that. And some of you might be familiar, I forgot if we ever had a clinic or a webinar about the S2D2 project that's led by Ohio State University. Suren Vaina at OSU heads that, and Scott Breitenfeld is the co-PI here at the HDF group. So we'll be working closely with the S2D2 team. And yeah, so stay tuned. What I can tell you is that we will have a working group, for example, around safety, security, and privacy issues around HDF5 and across all sectors. So not just research and academic research, but also industry and government. And we'll be looking for people who would like to participate in that working group, just present challenges around safety, security, privacy that they are concerned about in their particular industry. So yes, there is the HDF5 library in file format proper, where there are very specific issues and, for example, CVE issues and so forth. And there's another HDF 2.0 connection. But then also we want to work very closely with the community, the people that build the H5Pi modules that you can download from Conda, from various pip distributions and so forth, and discover where they are potentially vulnerable and what we can do to, if, for example, a vulnerability is identified, well, how do we notify the people that care about these issues, and if we can fix it immediately, what kind of mitigations we can propose. And so stay tuned. All of this will happen under this proposal, under this project. And yeah, it's going to be a great effort. So let's just quickly jump back. So this build, and so for example, if I pick a configuration here, let's do GCC Maven. And so, but then while this is going, I can go over here, and then you can add context here within Copilot speak with a hash mark, and I'm going to say Claude.md. And so now Claude.md is sort of part of my context. And so I can, for example, yeah, ask something, how do I build this project? And oh, it actually provided, yeah, I have read the contents of, so Copilot already tells me something about, and here the best thing will be for me to pull up this Claude.md file just to give you an idea what's in there. And let me just resize some of these things. So this is just a markdown file that Allen created. And yeah, it's primarily because of naming intended for Claude Code, but yeah, Copilot or Gemini and other tools can pick this up. And we as HDF group, I think, yeah, we want to be neutral in the sense that we want to provide this kind of context to all AI agents, whether it's Claude Code or Gemini or ChatGPT or something. And so we have to come up with a naming convention, but nevertheless, I think, yeah, Allen sort of just went ahead and tried to be pragmatic and practical and say, okay, here it is. And so it lists, for example, essential build commands, important build options, how you build these Maven artifacts, how you run tests, core components of the library, and so forth. And in here, you can really think about it this way. Okay, typically a human developer, when you are looking for documentation, you might go to support.hdfgroup.org and sort of look at the Doxygen documentation. Spell support.hdfgroup.org, and you would go to documentation, and then, for example, the look at RFCs or the reference manual and so forth. That's, as a human, how you would do this. But of course, for an AI agent, sure, an AI agent in principle could also go and scrape web pages and so forth, but that's rather inefficient. A file like this MD file is a much more efficient plain text way, markdown way to sort of convey that information. And then, yeah, agents, when you, in double quotes, chat or interact with your AI tool, can sort of extract helpful information and can follow links, for example. Many of these tools can do that. So I think overall, it just shows the way for a much, much richer developer experience all around, not just for Java, but pretty much for all developers. And I think that's where we are headed. And I think that is what I have prepared. Actually, did I close that? Is it still building that terminal? Yeah, I'm not gonna, let me see if I can quickly find it. Otherwise, no, where was the other terminal? This terminal, or the output. Oh yeah, so it's actually building, and then I think that's something else. Yeah, so let me not get sidetracked here. Anyway, that's all I had to say today, but then I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Any questions or corrections? I see some of my colleagues have joined. Did I say anything wrong or misrepresent your work? No? If not, then that's it for today. So yeah, I would hope, and I'm sure we'll have updates as we get closer to the 2.0 release. Yeah, having these capabilities, configurations that support development with AI-based tools. I think we'll see a lot of that, and I hope we'll have a separate HDF clinic dedicated to that, showing yeah, how that makes such a better development experience.
Thank you. Great improvement.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Kudos to Allen, who did this, and yeah, there are a few more things in the pipeline that he's working on. It would be interesting, for example, to see the performance difference between JNI and FFM. He may have prepared something already. I haven't seen it, but so yeah, so good things are happening in Java space. And then going back to what I spoke about a while ago is really, I think then we are sort of at a baseline. If we hope to get any kind of community involvement in improving HDFView and so forth, it's just, yeah, it starts with just building the thing, and it must be the Java way. It can't be going back to first principles, and it just must feel natural. And then all these assistants should be able to, yeah, do a lot of things on their own, and so that the developers can really focus on code and features. So, okay, cool. Thanks for coming. Come back next week, and have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.